Hello, welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. I hope you're well. I hope you're good. Big up to everyone, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're watching the show. Thank you for tuning in. As always, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and get involved in the comment section. Whether you agree with me or not, whether you don't, there's lots to talk about today. Look, before we start this show, I've got to say, obviously, this morning, early hours of this morning, we did a watch it on Eintracht Frankfurt versus Aston Villa. 2-2 draw. Had a bit of time, had a bit of reflection, had a look on social media, had a look at other content creators, what they were saying about it. And again, pleasantly surprised. Surprised again in such the divide of how people feel. Surprised in the sense of some people really putting a positive, still trying to pluck positives from yesterday. And actually, I feel like it doesn't feel right. I feel like there are still major issues staring us in the face as a football club. Major issues staring us. And I don't think people are brave enough to call it out sometimes. I think that people are sometimes too scared to call it out. And first and foremost as well, I don't want this narrative of, oh, it's preseason, it's about getting minutes in the leg. Oh, we can't rate down players because it's first minute, or oh, how good was that? Donyell Marlin's back. Yes, there are some positives in the sense of Donyell Marlin got 2 assists yesterday. Rogers and Watkins had a lovely finish. But ultimately, for me, the bigger picture still worries me. Our squad depth is frighteningly bad. If we get some injuries, we're cooked. If this is how we're going into the new season. And again, it's if, buts, and maybes. Wait till September, I keep getting told. Wait till the transfer window shuts. Okay, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to wait till the transfer window shuts. Okay, but it's not about the results. It's not, please, people, look at this. I mean this from my heart. I am not caring about the results. I don't care that we haven't won a preseason game yet. 2 losses, draw. I don't care. What I care about is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing still a goalkeeper situation that needs to be spoken about. Hence the title today. I'm looking at my squad depth and I'm saying, if we get injuries and we're not adding to our squad, we are a little bit cooked. I'm looking at the fact that, okay, Unai Emery played 3 at the back against Hansa Rostock, and then Eintracht Frankfurt, we played back 4 all game. And we had people waxing lyrical about this new revolutionary formation, and we're trying different things. Okay, let's see what comes in the next 2 games. Are we going to a 3 back in the next 2 games? Or was that just a one-off because of the personnel? I'm looking at the fact that, again, without a second striker in the team, we really have an issue. The fact that Ollie Watkins is our number 1 and there's no one else to back him up is an issue. So, and my final thing, again, which I spoke about in the watch-along with Rich, defensive fragility. Defensive fragility. We are fragile, and I don't care if it's preseason or not, there is still that weakness that shines through, whether when Villa score, we concede quite soon after, or the other point of it is we genuinely need to work out what our defensive philosophy is. Unai Emery has chopped and changed. When he first came in, it was high line FC. It was, let's play a really high line, let's be really aggressive, let's push, let's get the most offsides in the Premier League. And I liked it. A clear, systematic formation that worked, and every once in a blue moon, the high line wouldn't work, and we'd get done under. Defensively now, I don't think we're settled on combinations or partnerships. Still pre-season, I get it. We're still seeing the same situation at fullback, not evolving. And I'm seeing a Villa team that aren't sure whether they're meant to be playing out from the back and don't look confident with it, or whether we're meant to try and go a bit longer. All that to come in today's show. But I am going to start on the goalkeeper situation. But actually, before I even do that, I'm going to come to the chat. Big up to each and every single one of you. Make sure you're smashing the like button. I want to know what you all saying. Big up to loads of great names in there who were in the watch on last night and here as well. Today, usually every night, your opinions, whether you agree with me or not. I just want to hear it. I want to hear what you guys have to say and have a good debate about this. Istway says, it annoys me so much. The last few winners, we have Matty Cash starting, still not replacing him. Again, I thought Matty Cash, again yesterday, just reminded me of why we need a fullback. And people are going to hang on to Matty Cash going forward a bit more and putting these whipped crosses in. Come on, let's be real here. Ant says, Emery's changed defence more times than Trigger's changed his broom handle. So it's facts. Defence worse than in a long time. It feels like that. Kevin said, I'd agree. We need to either play Garcia or buy right back. Cashy ain't for me. Listen, both fullbacks, again, for me, didn't impose themselves on the game yesterday at all. Again, 45, 60 minutes, whatever you want to stretch at it, in terms of game time and how they impose themselves. But we're not far off Newcastle. Let's just keep reminding ourselves, Newcastle is only just around the corner, and that defensive structure is there for me. Brainy Byron is saying, with the squad where it is right now and without injuries, we're fighting 9th, 10th. With injuries, God help us. And, that's what I'm talking about with trophies and such. Big up to Stephen as well. Big up to so many of you in the house tonight. As I said, make sure you get involved in the comments. Make sure you're smashing like and do share the stream around as well. Captain, I know you missed the watch on and said that how do you know him last night was a big one. I am going to touch on this and I'm going to come straight to my title. Okay. I sit here, hand on heart, believing that that Marco Bizot will be Villa's number one. That's how I feel. I'm still wrapping my head around why no Emi Martinez yesterday. Why no Emi Martinez yesterday? If anyone wants to try and give me something to hold on to chew on, to change my mind, because this is how I feel. First game on tour, Joe Gauci's already had minutes. Marco Bizot's already had minutes. I've looked at all the other football clubs who have been playing their number one goalkeeper. And I now look at Villa. Emi Martinez yesterday didn't get used. Marco played the 60. Joe played the last 30. And Emi sat on the bench. And I know what this story means. Before I jump the gun on that, for me, it is completely on the next preseason friendly, Thursday early hours of the morning. If Emi Martinez does not feature or does not play or start, then I feel like Unai's plan is clear for all to see. It's clear for all to see. Emi Martinez will not feature till the transfer window closes. Regardless of his one game ban that he has against in the Premier League, I will 100% tell you this. Emi Martinez will not play until that transfer window closes because the speculation is too rife, it's too distracting, and it's not good for the team. Hence why Marco started yesterday, and I expect to see Marco keep getting more minutes. Marco needs to learn how to play from the back in the Villa way. He needs to learn about his teammates, and we saw some really good signs. That really long direct ball to Ollie Watkins, where he goes around the keeper and doesn't score. I saw him playing out of the back quite comfortably. A few shots, a few saves. But genuinely, unless that window closes, I can't see Emi featuring, and I think that's Unai's stance. Let's let the window close and see if his future's there. And for me, it goes like this. If Man United want Emi Martinez, they know they need to pay 40 million. If Aston Villa get offered 40 million pounds, Emi Martinez goes to Man United. Whether Villa then go with another goalkeeper is then our choice and our prerogative. But what terrifies me is if Joe Gauci becomes our number 2 this season. We thought Robin Olsen was bad. Joe Gauci's like, hold my beer and I'll show you. Seriously. If this guy is our Premier League number 2 goalkeepers, we got absolute problems. Couldn't get minutes at Barnsley. Comes into Villa. At Walsall, he has an absolute wobbly shaker, then has to go off injured. And then again gets his 30 minutes and literally shows he can't play out from the back. And people were going, why do we keep playing from the back? Is that what Unai Emery wants? Is that the Unai Emery way? Regardless or not, even if it is the Unai Emery way, Joe Gauci can't do it. So you thought it was bad having Robin Olsen as our number 2? Well, we've just upgraded. We've just upgraded on that situation. And it is a worry, Peter Smith, that our club thinks Gauci is number 2. And someone try and tell me why someone please help me out here. I know John McGinn didn't get on yesterday. Haven't been able to add that one up. Don't reckon it's because of Everton. I genuinely don't believe there's a John McGinn speculation or whatever. And weirdly, Bogard played the whole 90. But Emi Martinez doesn't make sense. Emi Martinez not playing yesterday doesn't make sense. So we will hold the trigger on that one. But I will tell you now. If Emi does not feature in the next MLS game, the MLS side that we play, can't even remember who we're playing now. It's clear. Sit it out until the transfer window ends. So I've got a feeling that Marco Bizot, we signed as a potential for Villa's number 1 spot. That's how I feel. Chat, talk to me. If you're on replay, talk to me. What are you saying? But let me come up with some of the comments because there's been some great comments in there. Let me have a look. Where was I at? But yeah, Kevin said interest in Martinez never came on. Absolutely. Trouble is, United can't afford him or his wages. I think United will keep plugging away, chipping away at some offers. Look, we've been told it's 40 million. That's what the reports are saying. Whether it's true or not is a different standard. But the reports are saying it's 40 mil. Take it or leave it from Villa. Wages will be another bit. I'm tired to death talking about PSL and SCR, but the effects of it have to be noted. We simply cannot spend as we would be able to if we do have success in years in the making, not months. I agree. And in a certain way, it could be an excuse to hide behind. Villa fans, we could keep throwing that all day long. There is no excuse though. PSR and SCR doesn't impact Joe Gauci's ability to not play out from the back. PSR and SCR doesn't affect the ability of Aston Villa not knowing whether they should be pressing as a high line or whether they should be backing off. PSR and SCR doesn't determine that Amadou Onana takes 100 touches on the ball sometimes, and that's why he kept getting whacked. I want to come on Amadou as well. Again, people watch football differently. People were hyping up Amadou Onana yesterday because he was getting kicked around and that he looked busy. Let me show you another perspective of it. Amadou Onana was taking far too many touches, was uncertain, and was trying too hard. That Konsa mistake, and thank God Michi Batshuayi can't hit a barn door. That Konsa mistake, yes, it was all on Ezri Konsa, but the play before was that Amadou Onana, honestly, probably took about 10, 11 touches in the middle of the pitch with no pressure around him, too scared to go forward, loose pass back was to Konsa that caught him off guard, and then it was a calamity. But PSR and SCR cannot be used as an excuse for what our current squad is doing on the pitch. It comes from the manager, it comes from the players. I think Unai, again, let's see how the season goes. Phil Unai's a little bit lost. I think he's having to deal with his head. This is how I'm going to play. This is what the tools I'm dealing with. But I, for 1 minute, don't think that he's sure on his starting lineup. I don't think if he knows he wants to play a 3-back or a 4-back. And I don't think he feels confident on how to get all the players on the pitch that he wants to. That, for me, seems glaringly obvious. And I think it starts with the defence. Starts with, is he going 3-back with Mings, Powell, Mings, Konsa? Or is he going Powell and Konsa? Is it Dean or Matson? Who's the right back? Questions there as well. I'd have gone up, Joe. Okay, it'd be very good though. Pax says Moylan's been a consistent scorer. He could go. Yeah. Pax said to Leeds, I think I heard as well. Is that right? And where is Andres Garcia? Someone said he was injured. That's what I heard. Whether it's true or not. But it is where our club thinks Gauci is good enough. Good shout. Gauci makes Olsen look like Buffon. It's true. James is saying 60 mil for Emery, then you might be talking. I wish. But again, the rumoured price, again, whether you believe the rumours online or not, is 40 million is the take it or leave it shout from Aston Villa. 40 million, take it or leave it. I do remember that one at Bodymore, to be fair, British Schmidt, and you are right. They don't like it at all. But yeah, Jono in the house. Villa joined Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, we can quickly touch on that one. Again, another player that, I've been talking more about Callum Wilson as a backup. Calvert-Lewin. People try and put a positive on it. Calvert-Lewin's a backward step, but with our squad depth right now, I'm saying to you, would you rather Calvert-Lewin or Jamoa? That's where Villa are at. Calvert-Lewin or Jamal Alaba. It's poor. It's poor options. Arsenal, another win. Gyökeres in and Skinny Chicken Spurs next in Hong Kong to yeah. Gyökeres unveiled in Singapore is massive. But there we go. And Emery's in. Is this maintained now or drop him? Going to readjust to get back to Champions League. This is a massive. Listen, this is a massive season for Unai. It is about rival fans are basically casting their eyes on us and seeing what Emery's going to produce, especially Arsenal ones. Semi Law says, I'm worried about Onana. His length is going to cost some injuries. Well, as in the length of time he's been on the sideline. He's been injured a lot. He's taken a few whacks. Onana could be one of those players who gets injured again this season because he takes too many touches on the ball, because he's a little bit hesitant. He is going to get whacked, like Grealish used to do, but Onana, not as agile. For some reason, my notifications show not being pulled through. Big up to Jono. If you do turn the notification bell on and off again, just reset it. And big up to anyone who has got the notifications on. We do appreciate it massively. So thank you so much for tuning in. I want top 5 needs to be Champions League spot. I think that's where it's at. Calvert-Lewin's bottom half, Championship striker, you know it. But yeah. What else we got? I know one thing I also finished that. Josh Amadou didn't have a bad game. He didn't have a good game either. But we've somehow put Amadou as being a top performer last night, which I'm struggling to see. Again, it's a little bit of copium, I think. People were hyping up Amadou Onana's performance yesterday. Oh, he got whacked a lot. He took a lot of tackles. I hope he's all right. Yeah, he's really getting amongst it. No. Too many touches. Hesitant on the ball. Trying too much. A bit like Tyrone Mings, to be fair. Mings is desperate to impress and get in Unai Emery's side. And it's coming at the expense of him playing his natural game. The way Tyrone Mings gave the ball away yesterday, it's that pressure he's putting on himself, and I think he is naturally giving the ball away a little bit too much. When you're trying too hard, mistakes happen. That's happening for me with Tyrone Mings, and I think Amadou Onana falls into that bracket as well. He's trying very hard to get into Unai Emery's plans, and by doing that, too much will happen. Emery's a great manager, as my maths teacher said to me. Take a water bottle, can't make it drink. Yeah. PSR and SCL does directly affect personnel. I'm personally worrying about anything. I'm highly confident as making a environment member respect for his preseason. No, that's fine, and that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. That's why I did the poll. How are people feeling? It definitely affects personnel, British Schmidt, and who we bring in. 100%. It impacts the transfer recruitment. But I don't think we can use it as an excuse for the current set of players, if that makes sense, and the mistakes that's on the pitch. Look, again, I want to sit here. I want to sit here and basically be wrong. I want to sit here and be wrong. That's the best situation. A best situation right now is I want to be wrong. But my gut instinct, not just gut instinct, from a coaching perspective, and again, this is not me, saying, I know more than anyone else. But, until everyone's opinion on this channel means a lot to me. I'd like to hear your views. But for someone, I've gone through my coaching badges for my B license, as I said. I've worked at a football academy. Looking at the structure of Aston Villa and Unai Emery right now, it worries me. It worries me. This preseason is worrying me. Now, again, please, I'd love to be proven wrong. Best thing that can happen is everyone comes into chat and said, Josh, you bloody idiot. Remember what you said in preseason? You're wrong. And I'll go, thank goodness I'm wrong. But PSR, SCR aside, on the pitch, I'm still worried about some of our structures. I'm still worried about Unai, for me, still isn't giving me that. The best thing I can say is our best season was the Conference League year, because it was a clear and obvious side. It was a side that we could pick with our eyes closed. And it was a consistent Villa side. I don't think we know which Villa's going to turn up each week. I don't think we know what system's going to appear each week. But there we go. I love it, though. Please get involved. I've got this feeling that this is going to be a tough grind at the moment. But things can change because September is among us. There's still another month, still business to be done, and still lots of time for Emery on the ground. And as I said, the best thing that can happen this season is that I'm completely wrong. That I'm on the opposite end of the scale. And some Villa fans are with me and feel the same, and some are like, you're an idiot. And I like that. People are ready to call it out themselves, going, you're an idiot. You're getting worried over nothing. Please do tell me that as well. That's what makes a good fan channel. It'd be boring if we're all in this chat thinking the same things. It would be horrendously boring. We may as well. It's probably what Man City fans have felt for the last 3 years. And then for the first time ever, Man City fans were at each other's throats last season because they had a terrible time. But Man City fans must have had a really boring couple of years, because what else could they debate apart from they're the best team in the land and they win everything, and it's not even funny, is it? That's why Man City fans had a meltdown last year, and quite good content. But yeah, do smash the like button, and big up to Moss in Canada saying golfing, great late here, Josh. Get out there, boys. Big up to Moss. Hope you enjoy life. I think Josh gets starstruck at the glamour signs other clubs are making, but we sadly aren't in the financial position just yet. Kevin, I love your optimism on that just yet, because hopefully one day Villa will be able to do that. But yeah, man, look, you're not human if you're not looking at Chelsea, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, and going, well, there's the top four. Because how are we meant to compete with that? Like, you wouldn't be human if you weren't looking at those boys going, damn, I'm jealous, and B, how do we compete? That's how I sort of feel with that. The time for concern will be at Newcastle Villa Park. You may well write us, you may well, but we are so uninformed that it would be impossible to make any realistic observations, all speculation. It's very true, very true. But I reckon today, though, I'm talking more aside from the signings. I'm talking about what we have right now. Just last night, just gave me that little bit of a ghost feeling of Aston Villa's defensive fragility again. Aston Villa's mentality. But yeah, what is the poll? Sorry, let's have a look. Let's have a look at Aston Villa. I said we had 51 votes so far. How are you feeling about Villa? 46% optimistic, 33% unsure, 21% pessimistic. If that doesn't show you a fan base divided with how we feel, then there we go. That for me is massive. Now, say this was last season, my poll in my chat last season would have been more optimism than pessimism. And maybe that is the impact of what British Mitch is talking about, and PSR and SCR doing that to us all. But there we go. Just think you're jumping the gun a little at the moment. I do have pessimism with me, but I'm not ready to say these games are definitive. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Even Duncan, what's the latest then with your Villa TV? Have you done your complaint? Duncan, please tell me you've complained. But no, I'm not even. I think signings are a must, Kevin. I think my whole mindset has changed after watching the football last night. I'm more worried about what we're doing on the pitch now. What we're doing on the pitch. But yeah, 8 miles in, having Don Cavalier. Peter Smith says mid-table, but Emery survives my prediction. Amadou is injured at least a quarter of the season. It's not a start when he plays as bad to average 9 out of 10 games, 1 10 out of one good game. He should be sold. He'll be gone by next season. Cornet. I think Amadou will be on his way out. Yeah, I don't think Duncan got any success with the website. British Smith said your passion is melded with your years of suffering. That's basically every Villa fan. We've had it tough, haven't we? We've had it tough. Yeah, it's been a crazy time for Villa, but then it started to go on the up, and that's why I'm saying I think I feel the emotion, as I've said many times, that we're so close, but I feel we're so far, and that's bothering me. I think that is bothering me. Conrad says, "If I'm being totally honest, I think we're in deep shit." Yeah, we should have won that low-level European Cup. Who did we lose to in the end? I forgot now. Olympiacos. Going forward, we look good as always, and our central midfield as good as any in the Prem. Our issue at the back are still nowhere resolved. Correct. And again, for me, the foundations of winning start in defence. That's why Arsenal intrigued me, because Mikel Arteta built his strategy on solidifying his defence, and Saliba and Gabriel, get a top-class keeper in David Raya. And then going there, Liverpool, Konate, Van Dijk, Robertson, Trent. Start with your foundations at the back. Why did Man City have a wobble last season? Because their back four was shite. The back four was all over the place. Villa, chop and changed our defence too much last season. Hadn't really replaced Diego Carlos, and still nowhere near resolving that issue. And that is my fundamental worry. Probably my biggest worry. But yeah. I like that anyway. Gives the option that team don't either. I can pick a team for Newcastle already, even when making a sign or two. Go on then, Kev. Put it in the chat for me. What do you reckon it is? Bizot does make me feel better about the possibility of Emery leaving. Like what I've seen him from. Yeah, I think people have been happy with Marco's impact. Right now, top four for me. Even if you look on paper, is gone 100%. We need a massive fall off from one of those big four that we named. So let's pray top 5 is Champions League spot. That's what I'm going to say. Bournemouth and Brighton. I saw Bournemouth had a good result. I remember when Steven Gerrard came in, won every game pre-season, almost got relegated before Emery came in. Let's just see what happens, bro. Again, genuinely appreciate your comment, by the way. I'm not bothered about the results. We could go on and lose the next 3 games. But if we have a style of playing our defence, or even if we go and draw, or if we win 1-0, or if we win 5-0, I'm not looking at results. If Villa go and win 5-0, I'm not going to get overexcited. If Villa go win the next preseason game 5-0, you're not going to hear me go, we're cooking, we're ready for the Prem. And then we go do it again. But what I will be looking at is going, defence organisation, right, okay. I see he's got his combo right. Okay. Yeah, is it Kamara and Tielemans in the double pivot? Spot on. Okay, Malin, you're playing wide right, and you're looking good, and you combine volley, spot on. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at. And I swear to you, I'm not one of these fans. I'm not looking at results. I will not look at results, positive or negative. I'm not looking at results. But the squad depth is still worrying me. Who the hell is our backup striker? Don't say Donyell Marlin, because if he's holding down the right-hand spot, who is our backup striker right now? Who is our number 2 to come in? Actual striker. Massive issue. Because did you see what happened when we took Ollie off yesterday? Couldn't retain possession, couldn't get out, couldn't play forward, couldn't get into him. That's true. The 23-24 Villa squad was very consistent and a good starting lineup. I think it worked well, that one. Sunderland could do a job on Newcastle this season. Yeah. Steady as it goes, any minute, things will come together. Josh is going to be eating humble pie, which he said he wants 100%. 100%. And Kev, you, my friend, can be the loudest to shout on this channel because you've been consistent the whole time. Honestly, it would be the best outcome that I have to eat humble pie about Villa and that I've got it absolutely desperately wrong. And I jumped the gun. Jumped the gun on a few things. in my footballing spout and shouts, Eddie Howe, I said would get sacked with Newcastle when they went on to get Champions League football the first time. I've had another poor shout of recent times. I'm just trying to think. Villa shouts. I've always defended Ollie. That's probably one of my things where it comes to my downfall. But I think Ollie his numbers have proven himself. I think Watkins has always proven himself. I've always been a big advocate and defender of Ollie Watkins, and I think his numbers have done the talking. And I think we're finding that it's hard to replace him. And again, I think people, will be questioning. I think Villa fans in general is how far we're willing to defend Unai Emery as a fan base. That's going to be the big telling of all Villa fans when we look back on our shouts of how much money in the bank are we giving Emery? How much space and time and credit will we give Emery? That's always going to be the judgment of some Villa fans, because some people are going to die by the sword on this guy. That's fair. Some people have already jumped the gun on this guy and said we need to move on. Some people are waiting to see what happens this season with him, and that's the greatness of it. But yeah, we can get things horrendously wrong in football. I thought Jack Grealish was going to stay before he went to Man City. Got that horrendously wrong. So it's okay. It's okay to get things wrong. But yeah, big up to everyone. Newcastle still out of line. As bad as it's been for them, we've added no first-team players. Facts, comrade. Although don't forget we've got Marco. Duncan's going to complain Monday morning. Please, Duncan, keep me on the loop of that. I really want to know what they say to you. I really want to know how they respond to you. Two bad mistakes I do have. We take them to the Prem, then I'd be just as furious as you. But I don't believe I'm more bitter of how we capitulated twice last season. Yeah. That's still probably that. Yeah, that's what we do need to get rid of. I'm sure this whole concert thing is exactly why we're doing it. We get some percentage of revenue for hiring out our stadium. This is an interesting shout. Our defense weak when Powell came. What's your gut instinct, chat? What gut instinct is? What is the back four or back three? What is it? Again, Bogard being used here, there, and everywhere as utility. This is what I'm saying. Bogard is going to be our fourth choice centre back. You do realise that, right, chat? We don't need to sign a centre half because we've got Bogard. This young lad that we're linked to, what's his face? What's his chop? Jaden can't even say his name. You know the guy, JD Camvo, I think that's his name. Well, is he coming in? And does that mean Bogard's going to be freed up to play more of a central mid area, or is Bogard genuinely our fourth choice centre half? I've been hearing a lot of hype about this boy, Max Dowman of Arsenal. Is he going to get game time in the Premier League like Ethan Nwaneri missed out? Can you imagine any other elite manager navigating PSL better than Unai? Pep, etc. checkbook managers. True, Gary. True. Another important question, however, can Watkins actually score a one-on-one goal via the goalkeeper? Ollie has always been, for me, an instinct finisher. Flash the ball across to Ollie and give him 0.1 of a second to think. Bloody brilliant. Look at his finish yesterday. Probably my favourite goal that Ollie scored. Was the one against Southampton. Long raking pass from Yuri Tillemans. Ollie's just come off the bench as he's had to sit on the bench because of Rashford. And he sticks his foot out and it was quality. Oh, but Christ, you give Ollie an hour to put the ball in the back of that, he'll miss. 9 out of 10 times, Ollie Watkins has got to score when it's a 1v1. Oh boy, you know the outcome of it. You do realise Eintracht ain't bad. They finished third last season. I don't know if you saw their team, Kev, but yeah, I get that. It's a good possibility. Arteta still one thing. Just tell me what Arsenal have won under Arteta. Arteta has just won an FA Cup, and I've bantered Arteta all this time. And of course, I have come into criticism on Mikel Arteta because he's nearly had £1 billion to spend. So don't get me wrong. Arsenal is not a good comparison on model. But I've watched Arteta beg his owners for time. And what he's done is he's built his foundations on his defence again. First couple of seasons, he fucked up, messed it all up. And he went back to solidifying his defence. Timber, Gabriel, William Saliba, and then whoever's at right back. He's evolved from Ben White. He's constantly trying to evolve, and he's brought in Lewis Skelly. I think Arsenal have got that defence in. He's built his midfield again, and now the final piece for Arteta, technically, is meant to be this Gyökeres, getting a number 9 in. What Arsenal go and do this season for me now is all on Arteta. If they don't win the league in a very tough season again, then he may find that his axe has come down. But the owners are backing him, and they're financially backing him. But yeah, trust me, Arsenal is not a good in comparison of winning, hence why they're fan based on that, and they've had a lot of money. But what I'm trying to maybe link to Arsenal is Arsenal have always been up there under Arteta because he's stabilised his defence. Man City had a bad time. Man City had a bad time last year because their defence was awful. I think Villa versus Newcastle will be a biggie because their business thus far is not great, and to lose their only recognised use yet. Yeah, I want to know what's going to happen with Isaac, whether he does an Emi Martinez and has to sit on the bench. Emi and Watkins are my only concern. Yeah, they're the only two that possibly leave. I'm saying for a fact, not a fact because that's too far. I'm saying that my instinct is that Emi Martinez goes, and that's why we're not going to see him now for a while. And Marco goes to take the team. Bizot, Cash, Conson, Mings. Wow, no Pal Torres in there. Conson, Mings, Matson, Kamara, Tillemans, McGinn, Rogers, Ramsey, Watkins. Is that team good enough to beat Newcastle? I like it though, Kev. Mannon's sorts right wing. We need to go Garnacho sort of left wing. We don't want McGinn playing left wing or half the season again. Exactly. And I'll be honest, again, 3 preseason games of Jacob Ramsey. My summary of him, exactly what I saw last season. Jacob Ramsey is a flash in the pan player. He'll do one really spectacular thing in the game and it will fizzle out for the rest of him. Yesterday, he had that one really good dribble, should have passed the ball to Malen, decided against it. Poor decision. I can't remember seeing him yesterday. I cannot remember seeing Jacob Ramsey yesterday. I don't care about preseason at all. I'm not worried. I'm worried that our defense is a sieve and we have no depth. I'm sorry, none of our youngsters are anywhere near facts. Conrad. I think Conrad, one of my members, is on the wavelength that I am. Is that squad depth worries me. Youngsters aren't good enough. Something's got to change in that defense. But yeah, Garnacho definitely, I think, is definitely going to come to us. I feel like that Chelsea move's done. I don't think there's any other clubs. Oh, I reckon it'll be a shootout between us and Spurs for Garnacho in the end. I thought our aim this summer was to lower wages, but at the moment I can't see us achieving that goal. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird, actually, because, yeah, we're offering Luca Dean new contracts. We're potentially keeping hold of Bailey. Where are the wages being shortened? Can I give you a little bit of a reason for hope Josh Kamara believes? It's not a bad start, to be fair. And look, this is where I've got to applaud Aston Villa. They did that smoke screen and they got the Kamara contract in, and it got me believing. It got me going, things are going to be okay. Kamara signed. Things are good. Things are on the up. And then I was excited for the preseason game last night, and then it just hit me again. I can't believe, chat, that we don't have a backup number 9. I can't believe we don't have a backup number 9. That worries me massively. God forbid Ollie gets injured. What do we do there? It's got to be addressed. We cannot go into the season with 1-9. I'm sorry, that's a massive no for me. Even Newcastle last season, they had Callum Wilson as their backup 9. And Isaac the Great did everything that was good. You know, having that backup 9 is paramount for me. Yeah, exactly the issue, Duncan. And then if Malen has to go cover, then what? We're left with Bailey? Or Rogers forced out wide? The 9's the issue, because it starts pulling people out of position. We want our We want square pegs and square holes. What we don't want is a Rogers and McGinn having to go stand out wide because of lack of squad depth. Adam Bailey basically came on when the game was gone and when Joe Gauci was on the pitch and when Villa had no target man to play into, so he rarely had the ball. He had that one shot, he should have scored. Bailey had a shot, he should have scored. But that's about it. Premier on watch it. See? Okay. If we do eventually buy a first team player, you can guarantee we still play set aside versus Newcastle, very close to the one that got a result last season. Let's hope we do. You're right to be concerned. I'm just a bit more patient, so you do need fresh faces, to be fair. Look, and big up to everyone who's been patient. Like, as a content creator, I guess I speak literally as it comes to my head. I don't have time to pause and think, what may I type or what shouldn't I type? I just say it how it is. And sometimes I'll get cooked in the comments for saying something. I'll look back going, okay, yeah, I probably didn't mean it in that way. I should have said it like this. But yeah, if I don't come across as very patient, there's probably a degree of that. I think there's a frustration because of the greedy cartel Sky 6, and we're playing against an unfair playing field. So we have to be the best of the rest. And that for me does come from Unai Emery and the squad. To be the best of the rest, we must have the right system, the right formation, and the right fluidity. I think Villa got caught up last season. Sorry, guys, just had to be saying, just didn't want to get copyright or anything. We got caught up in two things. Last season, I think we wanted to be a team who dominated the ball, dominated possession, controlled the game, which came at a cost. People said we moved the ball slow. If you remember, a lot of last season, first halves were dry, they were morbid, they were slow. We were known as second half FC, and in some ways paid off. And there's another part of Villa who we love seeing being that counter-attacking team, turn the ball over, whip it in behind, stretch the defence, let's go longer. And that is my concern still. Under a couple of seasons of Unai Emery, I still don't think we've moulded or nurtured a playing style. You may disagree. I think we've kept chopping and changing, and we haven't found. And I don't think it's been chopping and changing depending on who we play. I personally think that yesterday showed again the amount of times we tried to play out of the back in the last 30 minutes, and Joe Gauci, error after error after error. And I was going, why are we doing this? We're not learning anything from this now. They're professionals. They're not kids. You're not going to develop their playing style. They're professionals. You either can or can't do it. And if you can't do it, now when are you going to be able to do it? And then you had people playing out of position. Bogard playing in centre mid, trying to receive awful passes off Joe Gauci. And it just looked awful. And then you got other elements where you got Marco Bizot getting the ball and go route run into Ollie, and we're in. And I'm going, give me more of that. Just think the playing style is massive for me. Can we lock down and nurture a style that is going to benefit us? But yeah, loads of great comments. Our defense weakened when Powell came. Constant rings were like a brick wall. I think Emery's bad for changing things when they aren't broken. Yeah. Finn Bailey hit some Kinnan Rose. Yeah, that was awful. Personally, I'm playing Malin instead of McGinn versus Newcastle. Correct. Don't need to buy every season as long as we don't get raided. For me, need to add quality once every season, though. One piece of quality. Look at, again, really bad example, but I'm going to use it. Pep Guardiola went from when he first came in at City, completely had a rehaul. And then what Pep started doing once he was settled is he would add one gem every season. Just one piece of magic, one piece of stardust, one big signing, and just kept adding quality to his team. This year again, Pep's evolving again, stripping a load of players away, bringing new fresh faces in. And what will happen again when they get continuity and success, you just add one piece of quality in. I'm all about that. I think that Villa, for me, if you can add two pieces of quality into this squad, then okay, I'm happy. But let's not keep signing 5 or 6 average to mid-table to trash players for the sake of it. To be honest, we put all our eggs in the Unai basket. He leaves and win. He leaves and win a mess. I'm totally agreeing with the strike situation. Watkins get injured. Yeah, it worries me. Players aren't fully match fit yet. Yeah, I'm not looking at match fitness. I'm looking at the patterns, the formation, the Unai. But I get that. So I get that as well. The fitness can play on that. Mings did give away a bad pass. There I signed Dominic West and then Dominic Calvert-Lewin. First goal was Tyrone Mings' mistake, and people aren't having DCL. Yeah. Is anyone a fan of Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Is anyone a fan of Dominic Calvert-Lewin? Mings is a solid leader, defender for 89 minutes, a disaster error for the rest of the time. It's annoying that he does those mistakes because they get highlighted. And when you're someone who goes, right, I want Mings to start in over Pau Torres, all people will need to do is pull up the highlights of Mings giving the ball away like he did yesterday and going, that's why he doesn't play. But yeah, loads of great comments in the chat. Do make sure you like and subscribing. Absolutely. Kev says, we haven't played our first team yet. Preseason is all about fitness. Wait till we play Roma, not the USA Tour. That's when I'll be judging. Fair. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully we'll see an improvement and involvement in that as well. Yeah, Ramsey's the one I'd cash in on 100% now. I'm serious. Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey's the one now that I'm happy to let go and say, okay, I think there's quite an overinflated price for him. I'm okay to see him go, chat. I'm okay to see him go. Ramsey is the same old Gavi, pace and ability for days with 0 in-game IQ, yeah. Don't forget we got that young lad from Turkey that's even out on the 2 we signed in Jan. Yeah, Ozcan, who didn't get on yesterday. And Bogard preferred over him and has played at left back in pre-season. This Ozcan guy, Darryl, I think, is just, again, a smokescreen of a player that we're hoping to make money on. This Ozcan will not be playing in the Premier League. God forbid he will, but I can't see it. I can't see it. I like Jadon Sterling, he's lazy, but at times he seems very disconnected to play on field. Yeah, it's like he's away with the fairies. I hear you, comrade. Garnacho and Super Jack, one will come to Villa and the other will go to Spurs. Shout, actually, that's a shout. We'll have a backup. There's still a lot of time. A good enough backup though, Rugby, is the question I'm asking. But I mean, imagine a Villa to take Patrick Bamford, and we go, well, at least like that's what Monchi could say. Hey, I've got your backup. Callum Wilson, Patrick Bamford, or Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Villa fans. And then you almost go, I'd rather bloody have Benteke back, depending on what age he is. Yeah, it depends on who is the backup 9 and what quality. And again, I'm going to put this out there. It cannot be a young gun who's learning the trade. We need to think worst case scenario. If Ollie gets injured, have we got a 9 ready to play 8 to 10 games in a row? We didn't have 1 9 and made Champions League semis. It's true. It can be done. I mean, look, actually, on this point, I kid you not. People talk about Donyell Marlon being the backup 9. Hey, listen to me. This is our number 9. It's just actually hit me after what Mossa said, the Gooner. Morgan Rogers will be our number 9. There, I've told you. False 9, Morgan Rogers. 100% it's just hit me. Villa will go with Morgan Rogers, false 9 vibes. Tell me if I'm wrong. If we don't sign a 9, it'll be Morgan. Not Donyell, it'll be Morgan, false 9. I think we've tried it before with Morgan Rogers. And look, because Arsenal did it, that's what's hit me. Can't dump players a 9. Yeah, I reckon it'd be a good target, man. Correct, Christina. Before we know it, another player will slip under our grip and Garnacho will be gone. But I think Garnacho is making it very difficult for himself to be bought. 40 million, the price tag, so loan deal is the only way. But Malin is a goal scorer. and does play well. But I just can't see him. I can't see him being our backup 9. But no amazing backup rotation. As it stands, it's 2 or 3 out of Watkins, Marlon, Bizot, and Akonsa getting long-term injury season. We're in trouble for me. No depth in his key positions. Emmy's off, I believe. Correct. Yeah, that's the thing. I think we're forgetting that injuries can happen in football. I think some Villa fans are forgetting that injuries can happen, and we're saying that we're okay, and we're still going to make. Like, people are convinced we're making signings. How many? Let me ask you now, chat. Give me a number. How many signings do you see Villa making between now and September? I'm going to say 2. That ain't enough if we get 4 injuries. But I think we get 2. I think we make a max of 2 more signings. What do you think, chat? Let me know. And look, Brainy's saying 4. That's what he thinks, but I bet Brainy tells me a different number of what we think we can get. What are you guys saying? Missing out on Asensio was a blow due to lack of Champions League. Who covers to number 10 now? Rogers burnt out. Yeah, like holes everywhere. 40 million for Ramsey, sell ASAP. It's time for Ramsey to leave. Squad has no injury buffer and needs extra 20%. Crazy. El Canis would be the man to cover for Rogers. He's got Rogers vibes. I'm not quite jumping on that bandwagon yet, but I can see why some are. Boy Baston, get him back. Yeah, get Danny Ings in. Yeah, Buendia needs to go. He had a really poor game yesterday. He had a really poor game. Rogers play goalkeepers nearly. Christina thinks I get 2. Rugby 4. Garnacho will be alone if anyone's a button first. We need 4, but how many do you think we're going to get, Brainy? Because I don't think you think we're going to get 4. I reckon you'll be lower. Captain says 3. Kev says 3. 1 or 2. Garnacho and some dusty first teamers. 2 signs for first team competition and a loan for someone. But yeah, the Bridgman. Anyway, just passionate. Then I'm up at 5 a.m, so I've got to go. But all points valid. There's plenty of room for it, and that's the negative not being privy to the plan. Hence the fan split. British Schmidt, your comments have been very sincere and genuine today, and appreciate that. And go well, get up in the morning. But as always, this channel for me, it's not about being ousted if you don't agree with me. It's about actually having those debates. But likewise, it's about staying consistent in how you feel, but also there's open to change. And B, idiots like me who are saying, let's worry, let's who come across maybe a bit more negative, it'll be great for people to come back and say, you were wrong, you were wrong. I'm also not going to be that person going, I was right, if it goes bad, because it means our club's in a bad position. I'm not going to go, I told you so. But what I am going to say is, this is where I'm putting the pressure on now on those in the club, even more so. So I genuinely hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong, because if I'm right, it means Villa are doing bad this season. Which is, where it is. Brainy thinks get 1, yeah. We've had injury crisis 2 years in a row. Gambling to not count another one this season with the way Unai trains. That's true. He's aggressive training as well. He did say it was a tough summer. Elkan's going to actually get another keeper needed, especially if Joe Gauci is on number 2. Conrad says 1. Yeah, it's absolutely true, British Smith. This season is about attempting to stay in Europe for next season and put ourselves in a position financially to go again next season. And that attempt to stay in Europe is not easy. And I think that's one thing, again, I see a lot of Villa fans counting their chickens and thinking no matter what, we'll be in Europe again 4 seasons in a row. I think people are already saying, well, we will still probably get Europa League or Conference League at our worst. It's not true. It's not that easy to do. It's not that easy to just guarantee ourselves to go in Europe again. Ultimately, it comes down to one thing, doesn't it, chat? Win that Europa League. And at what cost is going to be the question. So yeah, that's where it's at. Look, I'm really nervous for this season. If you can't already tell, I'm nervous because it's a massive make or break one for me. I think that's how I feel. Massive make or break year for us as a club, for the manager, for individuals like Morgan Rogers and his future. It's all make or break. So I'm nervous because I don't want it going wrong. I don't want it going wrong. And I want to be here in May with all you lot going trophy, top 4, up the bloody Villa. Because we deserve it. We deserve it as a fan base. We deserve it. We've been through a lot. Our club nearly got liquidated by crazy Dr. Tony. We were saved by Wes Edens and Narcís Suarez. We had to have a boyhood manager, Dean Smith, pull us out of the cauldrons, pull us out of the dungeons, from the Championship back to the Premier League. We've had a boyhood fan in Jack Grealish helping us to do that. And we've had a journey ever since. But we nearly lost our football club because of Dr. Tony Gia, who's rotting away in some prison for fraud now in China. So it's hard, it's difficult, and we want to be there. But I've got to keep it real. I'm not gonna gloss it up for the sake of it. So yeah, big up to Dino, legend. Love seeing interviews with him. He's doing really well in the MLS, old Dino. He's actually living a really peaceful life in America, coaching a team where there's no relegation or promotion. How blessed must that be as a manager? No relegation, no promotion. Just go play. I love this comment from Pete. Pete says, "You are the guy who keeps us grounded. Luke of Up the Villa is the man who makes us dream." Yeah, that's why, to be fair, sometimes it's good. We've had a few streams of Luke because we are a little bit opposite sometimes. And sometimes we agree on things, and it brings a good view in as such. So I should try and get on to Luke to see if he wants to come on and have a chat. Maybe after our next preseason game, see his vibes, and we can have a little bit of a debate on there as well. But yeah, I also I like to dream as well. I like to dream big, and I do have big ambitions. I don't want to see our club fall off now, because what Duncan said is this: we've got used to being good again and challenging. That's why there are nerves currently. It's understandable. We've absolutely got ourselves into a position for the last couple of years of being credible again, being respected by neutrals, by rivals, by pundits, and be seen as a big European giant. We've worked hard. Please don't lose it now. Please. And stop being Bottle Job FC, yeah, and not be an apple crumble. I agree on the crumbling. Mentality is a stinker. The mentality, we absolutely have an invisible barrier. That's got to go. And January will be a big window. But listen, chat, we are going to run this up and finish in a second. I'm going to go get some custard from the shops with Heidi. We've got a lovely homemade raspberry crumble pie to have. We've done some baking and some making some food today. We had a nice dinner as well. So yeah, we've got to top that off now. We did a budget-friendly pasta and vegetable dish tonight, all made from scratch on a budget, very cheap. And then we've made a crumble as well. So need some custard to that. But obviously the shop's shut in the UK very early on a Sunday. Well, 4 o'clock on Sunday, but the little ones are still open. So we want to get a little bit of custard, want to have a bit of that and get the crumble in. So yeah. But as always, we've kept it real. You guys love it. And those of you who keep pushing the positivity, absolutely keep doing that. Those of you who are my wavelength, keep doing that, because it's a Villa fan channel. And at the end of the day, if we all have the same opinion, then it's boring, it's pointless. And let's stay. And let's stay as we are. Be yourself. If you disagree with me, don't hide. Obviously, don't come in abusive and say you're a twat, you're this, you're that. Yeah, that's one thing I don't get in football, right? Is you see people get really personal about football opinions. I get people sometimes commenting on my videos, negative, who try and have a go at me about mispronunciation people's names wrong. I think if that's your level of criticism, then Christ almighty, come on. Like, someone had a go at me for saying Ruben Amorim's name wrong. Like I care, really. He's a Man U manager. He has absolutely nothing to do with my life. And then pulling me up on how I said Unai Emery or Emery or Emery, all that stuff. It's like, that's personal. That's nothing to do with football. If you don't agree with my football opinion, it's sad, isn't it? Yeah. If you don't agree with my football opinion, I can take it. Let's have a football chat. You might not change my mind, and I might not change yours, but have it. But it's when people get really personal. That's when it's stupid. And what I love about this chat is that there are definitely disagreements in this chat, either towards me or within each other. But I never see someone get get nasty, and people do get personal, a bit silly. It's true, but yeah, it's good vibes, and love it, comrade and members and non-members, and it's great. And I can see, do you know what? It's great as well because I can see the camp of people who agree with me in the chat, and I appreciate that. And then also I see the people who disagree with me but come about in a really good way. Look at the way British Mick presented himself tonight. He basically wanted to tell me, I don't agree with you, Josh. However, I respect your opinions, and I could be, yeah, but you know what? It's like that sort of thing. Yeah. Absolutely. We should be able to spell and say the names correct. I've watched and like football enough. I will correct, but yeah, no need to be nasty. Yeah, no need to be nasty about it. At the end of the day, I genuinely don't give a shit about Manchester United, how you say it. If it's Ruben Amorim, I really don't care. Because I'm probably going to say his name twice all season. If I was calling I don't know. I'm trying to think of a Villa player now whose names. I don't know. Say I was calling Luca Dingy. I kept calling him Luca Dingy. I would want people to correct me and go, mate, come on, he's been at Villa for 3 or 4 years now. It's not Dingy, is it? Or what's the other? I'm trying to think. Who's another Villa player that people could butcher? Kamara, you could accidentally call him Camera. I've heard actually professional commentators have called Kamara Camera, and you're like, bro, you obviously don't watch the Villa. It's Kamara, not Camera. It's not C, it's a K. So yeah, it can be done. But yeah, if I was to call him Luca Dingy, yeah, then please pound me. Not as far as Nottingham Forest. Oh, trust me, Nottingham Forest fans are rattled if you call him Knots. And Gashford, hey, Rashford pulled off a stinker on his Barcelona debut. Someone put a highlights clip. The ball was bouncing off him, misplaced passes, getting tackled. Absolute stinker. But honestly, this chat is good vibes. Not all Villa fan channels are. I appreciate it. And people who nitpick do so because I have nothing of value to add. It's true. But yeah, look, we'll be back tomorrow with whatever news comes our way, probably more links. And then it's the early hour watch along. I can't believe it. I checked this morning. 1:30 in the morning. 1:30 Thursday AM. Yeah, 1 Thursday. 1:30 AM. So make sure you are locked in for that one. That's gonna be a cut. Yeah. Get your nap in. 1:30 AM Thursday morning. Yeah. It's oh god, isn't it? 1:30 AM. Lock in for that. Because yeah, who knows what happened. But yeah, people appreciate it. Make sure you like on the way out. Make sure you subscribe on the way out. Make sure you comment if you've got anything to add that I've missed. Appreciate you all. You've all got your notification bell on. I know that. And yeah, Redmond, Lord Bernard says first one. Yeah, I've been butchered that on there as well. But yeah, you guys, real ones, take it easy. Big love, much love. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I'll see you on Monday. Take care, people. I'm out of here. Ta-da.